Hi everybody, I'm going to a Christmas party tonight, so I thought it would be a good time to film my first, I think they call them get ready with me videos. So here's a simple look for a Christmas party. Okay, I have to take off my glasses to start off with. I'm going to start by putting my eyeshadow primer on. I'm using the ELF Mineral Eyeshadow Primer in blush. Obviously you can just use whatever you want to use, but I'll tell you what everything is just in case you want to know what something is as I'm going through. Normally I would have, this is kind of hard to see, the lights on my makeup mirror on when I'm doing my makeup, but it looked really weird on the camera, so. And then I'm just going to smooth it out with my fingers. I'm using the one in blush. I also have the regular ELF eyeshadow primer in sheer, but I'm going to use a shimmery eyeshadow, and this one in blush has some shimmer in it. So it doesn't work too well for underneath matte eyeshadows, but for underneath shimmer ones, works well. Alright. I'm going to kind of let that set a little bit. Put my glasses back on so I can see. Now if you're using a liquid foundation, you'd want to reverse these steps. I'm using a powder one, and I have heard of using a powder one and then putting your concealer on over top of it. I think that works better if you buy a specific concealer to do that with, but I just have a regular one. I've had some luck with that, but sometimes it doesn't turn out well, and I don't want to have to redo everything, so this is just my regular concealer for like any little spots. And I have, is it right there? And I have one that's coming in here. And then I have a little acne scar up here that normally I wouldn't mess with, but it does show through my foundation, and since I'm getting ready for a party. And there's a little bit of redness, which you probably can't see on the camera. So I'll just put some on this side. The other side's more red, but that way it'll be even. Okay. Then I'm going to let that kind of sit on my skin before I blend it in. And I'm not going to do anything with my under eyes right now because sometimes I get a little bit of fallout from the eyeshadow, and then it's easier to wipe it off if there's no concealer on underneath. I'm going to use a bronze shade on my eyelids, just one eyeshadow, just on the lid itself. It's from Physicians Formula, their Natural Nude palette. It's meant to be for eyeshadow and all over your face. I can't imagine using these all over my face. But they make nice little eyeshadows. So I'm going to use this one in the middle of the third row down. It's a nice bronzy shade. I'm using a big eyeshadow brush. You can use whatever eyeshadow brush you have, but if it's a bigger one, if you have a couple and one's bigger, since you're applying it all over your lid. Now bronze shades look really nice on blue eyes. I have blue-gray eyes, so they really pop. If you have brown or green eyes, I would recommend, well, you could use bronze too, but I would recommend looking up what colors really make your eyes pop, and then kind of picking from that list what sounds kind of Christmassy, if I were you, but you can do whatever you want. Eye done. Okay, now this would be probably the time that if you're going to wear mascara, you'd apply it. I don't really like how mascara feels, so I'm gonna wait until I've done all my other makeup and see if I feel like I should put any on or not. I might just cheat and not. Normally, I'm not doing it since I'm just filming the video. I would spray my brush with a daily brush cleaner. It's from ELF, and wipe it off with a cloth. I do wash my brushes about once a month with ELF shampoo, but don't want to take up the time with that. It's going to be enough time with me putting my glasses on and off. Alright, so the concealer sat on my face long enough. I'm using an Essence of Beauty from CVS concealer brush. It's their Fine Conceal. It's a little brush, so it kind of concentrates on where you want it. And blend that concealer in so you can't really see it anymore, but it still does what it's supposed to. Kind of really blending out the edges. So I don't want this giant blob of no color on my face. I have freckles, which I know you can't see on the camera, so I don't want there to be a blob where there's like no freckles. Part of the reason why I like using powder foundation, it doesn't cover up. Sometimes I use a liquid, but most of the time I use a powder one, so I can let my freckles shine through, I guess you could say. Oh, I don't think I said before, if you're using a liquid foundation, part of the reason to apply that first is sometimes you discover you don't need as much concealer as you thought you did. Probably the nice thing about being able to use a concealer that you can use with powder foundation. I'll apply just a little bit more to that spot and then let it sit again while I do my under eye concealer. Which I probably should have done before I started blending in the rest so it could sit. This is the ELF Under Eye Conceal. It also has a built-in highlighter. Well, the highlighter on the other end, I guess it's not built in. I'm just dotting it right underneath my eyes. A lot of people say to make an inverted triangle, which if I was wearing liquid concealer, which would cover up my freckles, I would do that. But I don't want this like block, this triangle block right there with no freckles and then the freckles everywhere else. It would look really, really weird. Okay, my glasses back on. So I have to have my nose right up on the mirror. Okay, I'm gonna go back to this. Oh, and I told you what this brush was. The eyeshadow brush was from a set from BH Cosmetics. They have nice brushes. You can't get the ones that I have specifically because it was a limited edition set that they sold a couple Octobers ago for breast cancer awareness. Actually, I think the proceeds actually went to like a breast cancer awareness charity or maybe one for research. I don't remember at this point. They're really nice, they're very soft. now, actually, yeah, I'll do that next. I was going to do my eyebrows, but half the time when I put my powder foundation on, I manage to hit my eyebrows with my brush and kind of goof it up, so. Okay, this brush I'm using is also an Essence of Beauty from CVS. It's like their version of, oh, what's that brand called? The eco-friendly one that you can get at the drugstore and with the bamboo handles, and I'm totally blanking what it's called. But anyways, it's like their version of it, so it's a little bit cheaper than that yet. Probably not really high quality brushes, but they work for me. So this is the wider brush. Works good for spreading out the concealer underneath my eyes. Now at this point I could either go back in with the highlighter portion just at the corner of my eyes, or I can just go ahead and set it. Let me take a look at how it looks first. How dark the inner corners are. They're a little dark. Yeah, I guess I'll put a little bit of highlighter. Just a little bit though. A little dot there, a little dot there. This is fun when you can't see very well without your glasses on. I've heard some people say that they actually get contacts just so they can see to put their makeup on. I actually know of one person who actually only wears her contacts to put her makeup on, but I just muddle through. And I'm just using the same brush I used for my concealer. And everything I've mentioned so far is cruelty-free. I don't think I said that. Not everything in my makeup collection is cruelty-free because I didn't realize I needed to be watching out for animal testing when I first started buying makeup years ago. It never occurred to me that they would be testing on animals, so. Alright, let's see. Just smooth it out as well as I thought. Yeah, and that looks a lot brighter in the inner corners now. So I'm going to set that with the ELF High Definition Under Eye Setting Powder. I can also set it with my powder foundation since it's a powder, but this does help deflect light away a little bit better. And it's sparkly. Since it's a holiday party, why not? And I'm using one of the BH Cosmetics brushes from that set I was talking about. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a concealer brush or not, but it's shaped a lot like that under eye concealer brush. So I use it for setting powder. After all, I mean, even if a brush isn't supposed to be used for something, but it works really well for you, for whatever that is, why not go ahead and use it for that? It's not like there's a brush police or anything like that. Okay, there we go. Now it's time for my powder foundation, since I'm not going to be using really dark blush that I need to. Yes, a little bit darker than usual, but I should be able to avoid overdoing it. And if not, I can always go over it again with my powder foundation. This one has, I think it's pronounced jojoba oil in it, which is really nice for in the wintertime. Adds a little bit of moisture back into your skin. Or if you have dry skin all the time and you always wanted to try out the powder foundation, but you just felt like it was too drying for you, this would be a good option. I should probably tell you what it is. It's Everyday Minerals. It's one of their bases. Can you see that? There we go. They have like 3 different types of bases, what they call their foundation. They have a matte, a semi-matte. Normally I would be like, ooh, the matte one, because my face used to be super oily. And it still is in the summertime, but as I've gotten older, it started getting a lot more dry in the winter. And even though this winter's been unseasonably warm, and my skin isn't getting as dried out as it normally would, it's still getting a little bit dried out, so this is helping a lot. Take my glasses off for a minute so I can get it where my temples and across the bridge of my nose. I'm going to really try to get it in where my nose pads are sitting, because I'll just wind up on my nose pads anyways. Okay, there we go. Check and see if there's any place I want to add a little bit more. Oh, that looks pretty good. Make sure it's well blended. It is a lot harder to see without the lights on my mirror on, but it really looks super washed out, so there we go. Okay, I guess I haven't been telling you what the colors of all of these are. This is, they had a sale on their vintage jojoba base. I think it's called, this now would be called 1C or Rosy Ivory. But this, under their old color coding system, was Alabaster. This was actually the lightest shade they had, but they did come out with a lighter shade, which is good because there are people out there who have lighter skin than me. What are they supposed to do? So here's that. Next we're going to do blush, and I hid it back behind the mirror, I think. Oh, where did I put it? Yeah, I did hide it behind the mirror. I'm going with a rosy blush. It seems like a good idea for this time of year. So depending on what you're wearing, do kind of tailor it to what you're wearing to your party. Though chances are you're wearing red or cranberry like I'm wearing, or green. Rosy looks fine with green. I'm just going to use the brush that came with this. I do have a nice blush brush that came in that BH Cosmetics set, which I really like, but I'm going to be lazy and use this. Oh, this is discontinued. I think you can still find it on Amazon, but unfortunately, as I discovered after I bought a couple different ones of this because I really liked it and I knew it was going away. CoverGirl does test on animals, unfortunately, so I don't recommend this, but it is a nice color. So it's their True Blend Micro Minerals blush in Natural Rose. I knew it had rose in their title there somewhere. I'm going to, you can put on your blush however you like to normally do it. I like to smile and put it on the apples of my cheeks. I did pick up a little trick from another YouTube video where if you put 2 fingers right next to your nose, you don't wind up getting it really close to your nose. Okay. And then I find that you wind up with like just the right amount if you kind of shake it onto the lid. I just stuffed it everywhere. I didn't have it the lid on very tightly. Oops. And then you don't wind up with too much, which also helps with me not having to tone it down. 2 fingers and then smile and right on the apples of my cheeks. I like to put it on the apples of my cheeks because that's where you usually flush the most. But if you prefer to put it on further back or however you like to do it, after all, tailor this to how you like to do things. Okay. And then we are down to lips. I was going to say at the beginning and I completely forgot. If you are using a regular lipstick and you're anything like me and you find regular lipsticks pretty drying, it's a good idea to put lip balm on at the beginning and then let it soak in while you're doing the rest of your makeup. Of course, if you're using a tinted lip balm like I am, then it doesn't really matter. Or if you're using a long wear formula, which if I had one in the type of color I wanted to wear, that would be perfect because I'm going to a dinner and I'm going to wind up eating this off. You don't want to put anything on first. Once it sets, you can put on all the lip balm you want, and you'll probably want to, at least I always do because I find them a little drying. But if you put anything on your lips before you put them on, it doesn't adhere to your lips and it doesn't stay. I discovered that the hard way. I'm using Burt's Bees Lip Shimmer in Rhubarb. It'll go with my shirt quite nicely. And in addition to the fact that I just really like tinted lip balms, it's not really dark. It's not going to be super obvious as I'm eating it off that there's anything missing. No one's likely to notice. And if I do want to take it along and reapply it after we eat, I'm not going to need a mirror to put it on. I mean, I used the mirror to put it on right now, but it's not a big deal. So now, oh, I didn't do my eyebrows. Brush the hairs up with this little spoolie brush. Now I do use a brow powder sometimes with a little angled eyeliner brush. I use the lightest brow powder shade from Meow Cosmetics. I like that a lot. And it's, if you have lighter brows than me, which I don't have really blonde brows, even though I tend to use the lightest shade anybody has, occasionally it's a little too light. It would probably be too dark for you, but it works for me. I think it's like soft brown or something like that. But since I'm trying to keep things simple and do this quickly, obviously this would have gone a lot faster if I wasn't babbling on at the camera. And if I was doing just my everyday makeup and I decided to do my brows, which I don't always do, a pencil's a lot faster. This one I also bought before I realized I need to worry about the fact that people were testing cosmetics on animals, so it's from CoverGirl as well. It's their Brow and Eye Makers pencil in, I believe they call it soft blonde. Yeah, soft blonde. And if you do have blonde brows and if you don't care about the fact that they test on animals, this probably would work well for you because while it works for me, I can definitely see how it would work for somebody with lighter brows. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna skip mascara. I will tell you what I was going to use if I did decide to. I have a couple different mascaras because I've tried different ones trying to find my formula I like. I have a formula that I like a little bit better than this, but again, bought it before I discovered testing on animals, and it's been discontinued since then anyways. But this one is Auburn, even though I'm not a redhead. Auburn mascaras actually look pretty good on me. Or brown ones. I always feel like black looks so severe. Maybe it's because I don't wear mascara all the time. I mean, I've seen people as pale as me or slightly paler with much lighter hair and blue eyes. So you would, with wearing black mascara and like smoky eye looks, which I feel like I can't pull off, so you would think that, you know, I could do it too. But I think it's because I've only ever seen them with that eye look, so it doesn't look severe because that's how I've seen them. Whereas since I don't wear makeup like that all the time, it's like, whoa, when I wear it. So yeah, this is by Redhead's Fancy. They have a line called Fairchild that's aimed at anybody who's very pale. There's another one company who's similar to this called Just for Redheads. I have one of their mascaras too, and since I got it, they expanded the line so that for that particular mascara, I think it's their Mascara Naturale, there's a lot more shades available, and there's one that I think would work for my eyes even better. I just wish the formula felt a little bit more like that other mascara I was talking about that was discontinued. So if I was going to wear it, I'd wear this, but I think I can get away without wearing it. Especially since I'm probably already wearing more makeup than most of the other ladies at the dinner are going to be. So I hope you like this look. I hope it's easy for you to adapt to your own complexion and to how you like to wear your makeup, and I hope it gave you some good ideas. Have a Merry Christmas and enjoy all the holiday parties that are coming up.